Welcome to Top Talkers. Very interesting topic today. We are joined by our panel once again. Jeff just made a really quick roundabout from weather. Ken Scriver joining us, Dean Roberts, all from upstairs. And we came down and everyone's kind of going, okay, interesting topic today. Yeah. Let's see how this all goes down. There's a little girl. Her name is Coy Mathis, 6 years old, born male, identifies as female. Very, very young. But this is, she says she's a girl. There's an issue right now going on with this school that is happening, that the teachers now, so I'm going to read the paragraph that we go through. So the first grader was born male but identifies as female, and she's been attending the same school, Eagleside Elementary School. They're in Colorado, which is right in a suburb of Colorado. Coy has been using the girls' facilities with the school's knowledge until this happened in late December, when the principal informed her parents she would no longer be permitted to access them. Instead, she was restricted to using either the boys' restrooms or a gender-neutral facility reserved for the employees of the school. There's a lot to take in right now. Since that decision has been made, the parents have opted to do home schooling until this matter settles itself. Do you want to start? What are your thoughts?
I don't see a problem, Lianne, because obviously there are stalls in that girls' washroom, are there not? So the privacy factor is you know, is taken care of, right? And to tell you the truth, I can remember being in kindergarten, believe it or not, I can, and coming home and asking my mom why we had separate washrooms. I didn't understand that, why boys and girls had separate washrooms. She explained why, and I understood at the time. But once you get older, I think it's less and less of a factor.
I remember being in kindergarten, we actually had our own bathroom, and it was just like an open bathroom. Does anyone else remember that? You know, and I know that the kids have kind of come through, and it really hasn't been an issue. Your first thoughts on hearing this story?
I just think it's sad. Like, this little girl is so used to, you know, using the girls' washroom, and now all of a sudden she's being told something different, to go and do something else. And now she's being homeschooled, so she's being isolated from, you know, being with her friends and being used to socializing and being around other people.
There's actually, we're looking at her right now. You know, this has really become a story that a lot of people are talking about. Jeff, we had an interesting debate early this morning talking about this.
It blows me away because at such a young age to be identifying, it surprised me when I first heard it, that a boy feels like a girl, right? So physically a boy, but acts and is obviously gravitates toward female clothing, the look, everything, and parents have been very open-minded about it, obviously, but I can also understand where the school is coming from. Beforehand, they allowed this. I have to think there was some sort of complaint from a parent, because the school would, why would they suddenly change their mind? So I think that I feel for the school board a little bit in that, or the principal, in that it's such uncharted territory. You just don't know what to do with this information. You have a complaint from one side, so what do you do with that? I'm just quite surprised that there is someone this young who has decided that, and you hear about stories about this for older people.
Can you make a comment that you say they decided? I have a feeling, I don't think at 6 they decided anything. I think that was their innate feeling from a very, very young age, that this was just who they are, and unfortunately they look down and there's something else there that doesn't represent what it is that they are. My thinking is, why are they, then they give her the option, A, use the boys' washroom.
Right.
That would be way more uncomfortable for this young girl to be able to go in and be amongst the boys, when at that age she feels like she's a girl and being put into that situation as well. Granted, they can always head into a stall, but it's just the act of having to go through a door that you don't feel comfortable going
In the article, the parents even say that they hadn't heard any complaints from any other parents, and now all of a sudden they're confused as why is this changing all of a sudden. So what was it that
something triggered it?
Well,
I know they said they hadn't heard anything
complaining.
Well, the parents are saying that it says here, they know of no parents, teachers, or anyone else who have complained about their daughter's use of the girls' washroom. Somebody had to have said something, absolutely. You know what I did find interesting, and it wasn't until the very last line of this article, but she's a triplet. There are 3. There's Coy, who we're talking about, and she also has another a boy and a girl, born triplets. Interesting to see the dynamics. One's boy, one's girl, and then
something genetic in there. Well, it's been a long-standing discussion or argument, if you will, between scientists on whether or not you're born gay, transgendered, or if this is a case of decision making. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know the facts on that. I suspect that you're born that way. But I'm just, again, the age, it's 6 years old, already having this conflict in you on whether or not, you know, you were born the right sex.
Yeah. Didn't we have an issue with hockey dressing rooms, girls sharing boys' dressing rooms and vice versa? Didn't we have that for a while too?
That has been, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's because they were part of the same team, but they needed different. I mean, they weren't identifying themselves as anything other than the sex that they were, right? You have, you know, born male identifies female, and it is at an incredibly young age, but. You understand the body parts very young, I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like you were saying too,
oh,
right?
Yeah,
You've
my little guy.
You understand what's going on there.
It's amazing how quickly the young boy, anyway, is thinking about what's going on down there. So, yeah, it's interesting. And, you know, the other thing that's interesting to me, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised because as early as 1, my little guy with no influence from us, I always thought it was from parents saying, you're a boy, you play with cars. Never an interest in dolls. Always cars, machines, everything, and like not by any kind of, not steering him toward it. So yeah, I don't think a 6-year-old, I think you're right about the misuse of the word decision. A 6-year-old is even conscious of the decision. They just think, this is how I feel. It's amazing to me though, still. It's a wild story. And this, the other thing that struck me is this is only the beginning of a struggling life that this child's gonna lead, I think.
Interesting remarks, and thank you to our panel once again for their opinions and our top talkers. It's an article too that we also found. You can find it in the Ottawa Sun today.